Wiggly, Fluffy Buddy, RT. I need to write a song for Artie.
Yeah. Fluffy Buddy.
Fluffy Buddy. Artie. Fluffy Buddy. Artie. Fluffy Buddy. Artie.
We'll get that trending on the music downloads.
You know what's so funny? I'm the one who's loud. This time, I'm the one whose YouTube isn't muted. I do it to myself every time. Sorry about that. Hi, folks. We've got folks tuning in. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a continuation from last night's reading. We're just our musical chairs of readers. Tonight, y'all know how much we love us, our Jenn Lynn. So our good friend Jenn Lynn is back with us tonight. Thank you for joining, ma'am.
Oh, thank you for having me. And we adore our Johnie.
Mr. Grand Tarot's apprentice himself, Johnie, is with us. So like I said, we had so many amazing questions yesterday, guys. Thank you so much for all the questions you asked. Again, we couldn't even touch the surface. You see, we only got like a couple orange scratches through them. You know,
you typed them all out.
Yes.
I told you, very thorough.
Organized.
Priscilla, thank you for, I love my earrings too. I'm actually going to do a shameful plug. My very good friend here in DC makes them. I can't spell. She has fantastic, her business name is Miss Eclectic. Give me a minute. I will put the link in on live stream. Normally most of the earrings I wear when we're live are from her collection, and she yells at me all the time. She's like, I really love the business and the money, but you probably shouldn't keep spending most of your paycheck with me. You should.
Give me your spray you were using last night while you were reading on Marjorie Green's.
I was like the Big Mama clearing spray. I swear to God,
spray.
I had to use like half the bottle on her. She is such a nasty.
Hey, Becca, we got Becca in the house.
Hey, Becca. Hope you're doing well. We got a lot of people. Got Connie. Thanks ahead of time, too, to all the moderators. You guys are absolutely fantastic. So thank you guys so much for all the that you very well. I really, really appreciate it. We're just going to give it just another minute or two, and then we will get started. Like I said, we had so many questions, and just talking to Jenn and Johnie just before we did the live stream, we added like 4 more petty ass questions because y'all know how we do. So
I am starting to get a big ass snowstorm here, heavy wet snow. So if my power goes out or my internet goes out and I disappear suddenly, that's why.
We will know that the tundra has hit Jenn Lynn.
Winter storm warning. It's supposed to be here in 2 days then.
And see,
we're getting about 10 inches tonight, 9 to 10, they said.
Mercy.
And we get ours tonight, Johnie, so you'll have yours like tonight and tomorrow. So yeah, you'll have yours Sunday and Monday. Yep. I told y'all, Alexa, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Woke me up this morning.
She's on mute.
This heifer will do anything. Like I will talk like what? Alexa, what time is it? Okay, but you see how I had to like talk mean to her and like get a little bass in my voice, like Alexa. Yeah, see, she's ignoring me now. Heifer, I can't stand her.
Yeah, listen, if you're talking to somebody else though.
Because Alexa, are you recording me without my knowledge?
Not quite sure how to help you.
Because technically, she can't lie to you.
Ask her, Alexa, who do you like better, me or Marjorie Green? Find out.
Who do you like better, me or Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Sorry, I don't know that.
She says she don't know.
By the way,
Oh.
you have one new notification.
I know, but don't, Alexa, stop. You don't need to be telling my business right now while I'm Thank you so much for the super chats. Marchi, thank you so much. May your generosity be returned to you too.
Amy found us. She was looking for us yesterday.
Oh, she said, yes, you found us. And just one more little housekeeping two more housekeepings before we get started. First, and thank you again. Yes, Becca, that heifer needs to make up her mind. And thank you for the super chats. Last two pieces of housekeeping, and then we will kick this off. Housekeeping number one, thank you to everybody who went and subscribed to Blissful Divination. Shay just got a bunch of new followers and subscribers, so thank you guys so much.
And if you missed that last night, go watch it because it's really good.
We kikied and laughed and hee-hawed is just ridiculously, so thank you guys for subscribing, and we'll put the link in the chat. If you have not subscribed to her, you can go watch her. And then I forgot my second housekeeping. Shoot, what was it? Crap, really? Okay, well then let's get into the reading. Hopefully I'll remember it.
We're going to talk about your other readings.
I can do that. We'll do that. So Johnie, thank you for shaming the hell out of Lauren. Lauren did text me today. And our next chakra talk will be Wednesday, February 10th. So we're going the day before the new moon. We're going to go through new moon rituals and get you ready for the new moon. And we're also going to, she'll do a little deeper dive into some astrological stuff that will be happening right going into, because this new moon is like in the middle of Mercury retrograde, a whole bunch of cray is going to happen. So she's going to set us up for that. Judy, thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate it. And let's get this, y'all ready to get into this? Because we've got like
okay.
All right. So do you want to start with the petty question first?
Oh, sure.
The one about who's worse? With that one?
Sure.
So, we have a question for Spirit. Particularly Jenn Lynn's petty ass has a question for Spirit. Who is worse? Stephen Miller or Marjorie Taylor Greene?
I'm going to phrase it this way. Who's more difficult for Spirit to guide?
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Miller or Marjorie Green?
Which one?
Some flipped out already.
God, they didn't procreate together.
Ugh. It's bad enough the heifer he procreated with. She's a spawn of Satan herself, so I can't imagine what MJT or MTG and Stephen Miller's child would be like. True spawn of Satan.
The worst or the hardest? Yeah, I did the tarot that said the same thing. It's the woman.
It's the woman.
I get Lilith, the thief of life, here with the oracles. Why? Because of fame, stagnation, and assistance. She is giving a lot of garbage from the outside that is bolstering her up. So she's completely cut off from any spiritual help whatsoever. Six of Swords and the Star. She has moved on. All she cares about now is fame. So she is really not into the whole spiritual thing whatsoever. She probably can't even spell God if she had a free G and a D.
That's rough. Thank you for the super chat, Adventurous Spirit. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I get it. Depends on what you're focusing on the bottom. Like that they might have an easier time connecting to them on one thing, but a harder time on something else because they're both like-minded. They both, get a lot of judgment passed on them, and they're both big opportunities to spirit to work with somebody. The challenge is to enlighten them. They can't seem to break through to enlighten them because structurally they're like-minded individuals. So they try to bring the good news, but they both only give back the crumbs, so they don't allow spirit to come in. Spirit does talk to them all the time, but they just have that incessant loop running in their head, the
mind movies,
the propaganda and stuff. So it's a struggle for spirit to come in, but I also get that there's going to be an investigation on both of them because they're both sneaky and they are both going to be sent away for a while. But they both have abandoned their spirituality too.
I mean, kind of hard to pray to Jesus when you worship the devil. I mean, that's a direct contradiction. So what I do is I wanted to look at their chakras. Obviously it's not going to tell me which is better or worse for chakras. It's just going to tell me which one is, how they chakras is jacked up. Very interesting. They both have issues with their sacral chakra and the root chakra. But for Marjorie Taylor Greene, she lies, and doesn't listen. I think we got this last night, Johnie, when we talked about her. She really struggles with her throat chakra. Everything that comes out of her mouth, as we all know, is not from divine. It is not about connecting to spirit, speaking divine truth.
She is like the epitome to me in my head when you think back on high school days of a mean girl that just follows people around the hallway and never shuts up.
Who couldn't make real friends, who only thing she could offer was just griping and complaining and being nasty. I think Johnie said it was about money, or maybe Jenn, both of you said it, and this is what drives her. She's only focused on money, lack of security, always about abundance, trying to get more. Okay, that's what drives her. And then she also does not have any connection to her intuition. So to me, this is a person she's very loosey-goosey. I'm just going to go off the hip because there is no listening to myself, listening to get that gut feeling, listening to spirit. It's all of do it. And I love that it's the dreams card because she lives in her dreams. This is a fantasy to her. This is not reality. Steve, so I think that's really freaking accurate, really, from what we see and know of her. Then Spirit wanted to be petty as hell again and showed me everything that's wrong with Stephen Miller. We all know he's a sexual deviant. So here we go with that sacral chakra. I mean, it is no secret, entertainment purposes only, that he used to run, what do you call those deep underground sex parties? That's well-known secret up here in DC, men and women. It was just a nice little get down what you get down. So that is an area where he's a sexual deviant. Also, doesn't surprise us that he has children in cages when that's how you get your jollies. He is a person with no morals, no heart, because he cannot forgive a lot of issues with his heart chakra and forgiveness. And this is also a human being who does not connect to Mama Earth, no grounding at all, no root chakra, no ability to connect to source, connect even to other people. Just, oh God, first reading and I'm already having to spray myself down.
Because I always figured for him it was more of a past issue or past unhurt that's causing him to behave the way he is now.
Which could be why he's got the forgiveness card. That stuff carried over.
That's what reminded me of it. He's got that undercharged heart chakra. I would say.
Somebody asked which deck this is. This is the Chakra Insight Oracle. It's on Amazon. If you look at it now, I've had this deck for so long, the box doesn't look like this anymore. I think the box is like orange or red. If you go look for it on Amazon. Well, even while I'm about to bend over to get another pen, I got like 18 pens right here. Okay.
That's me.
All right. So let's go and look at these Republicans. Will the Republicans gain seats in the House or the Senate in 2022? We kind of all know how this goes. You know, the first primary or first mid-cycle election you get, we kind of flip. Happened to Trump, happened to Obama, happened to Bush, happened to every president I can remember. So,
but at the same time, there are thousands of people that are abandoning the Republican Party across the country.
Yeah. So let's see, can the Dems hold their lead, gain a few, or at least their majority, or will they lose it? And will Republicans gain seats in 2022? Let's take a look.
Do we want to know if they gain the majority?
We just want to see, will they gain
seats in general?
Just seats in general. Okay. And see where we go from there. So y'all know how we do. One question will lead to 22 other questions, and then we forget the other 18 questions and how we got on that topic to begin with.
And then you have to go live again to cover the
Exactly.
Yes, I get the yes. There is the Page of Cups crossed with the Eight of Wands. So we're going to be hearing some surprising messages about community support for Democrats. The Ten of Wands and the Justice. There's also going to be some people tied up in court cases, so they're not going to run again. And therefore, the person running in their spot is not going to be a strong enough candidate to take on whoever else the case or whoever else is going to be. So you're going to see some seats flip for a few reasons. One is going to be legal. The other one might be people just choosing not to run anymore. There's also some huge support that what do you call those assessment teams, I'll call it that, the people who go out in the field and see whether or not you're popular still. Those people are going to go out and figure that some of these people are not. Here with the Ace of Swords and the Eight of Swords, it's kind of like you're powerless in this in particular position, and that's the revelation that is revealed to you. And the Seven of Swords, you now need to have a strategy about what you're going to do next with the Knight of Cups. So you're not necessarily in the position to continue in your seat because somebody else is more popular. So I think, yes, they will pick up some, possibly even 7 somewhere.
Yeah, I get they pick up a small amount, but their donors, that's the challenge. The donors have put them out in the cold a little bit because of their messaging about Trump and not working towards unity in this impeachment trial is what I'm getting. But I get they're strong and they're steady. They're going to be doing a lot of work. This is my Republican card. I think they'll have a new leader also. So McConnell will probably be gone, and a circle of support around them. And then suddenly, at the last minute, they get big gifts of money. So there's going to be manipulations in their elections again. So whether that's through voter suppression, gerrymandering, or using the ES&S voting machines, there will be manipulations again.
That's what I get. I got exactly what you guys got to. At the base of this is the Seven of Wands. So they're getting the strategy together. However, there is in the immediate future the High Priestess. So what's going on with this girl? What's trying to go on in the background? Trying to Two of Cups, so trying to get more support, trying to remind people of who they are and what they are. This is the Republican Party, so just kind of keeping those like minds. There will be some victories again with the Six of Wands. But however, Nine of Wands, they're going to fight hard. So whatever seats they do get, it's going to be a hard fought battle. Thank you, me, myself, and I appreciate you. I don't think it's going to be a lot because I'm not getting like a huge number. I just get that the few seats that they pick up, it's going to be a fight. Couldn't happen to nicer people. I swear to God, it really couldn't. Speaking of the Republicans, Republicans, what's going to happen to the Republicans who, and particularly the congressmen and the senators? Y'all know who we're talking about. A couple in particular.
The Trumplicans.
Howley, who are spreading the narrative that the election was stolen, because we already see Dominion ain't playing with these children. They're out there suing for billions and billions of dollars. So what's going to happen to these people who continue to spread that narrative? What is their outcome? What's going to happen? Are they going to be held accountable? Will they just continue to get louder and stronger? What's up with them?
You said Republicans. I heard Republicans. I was like,
I was about, you know why? Because I was about to say it and I caught myself at the last second and I had to change it.
I'm like, as in pew pants.
You heard it. I was like, Republican. Maybe nobody caught it. Well, not only did Johnny catch it.
It is pretty much the same.
Trumplicans.
Thank you, Jeanette. I love my earrings too. I put the link to the website in the chat if you wanted to, if you feel like scrolling up. They're from Miss Eclectic. I have that Heffa's collection in my closet. And I don't ever leave the house, so that's just a little bit of an earring. Oh, shit. What's going to happen to these? I'll go ahead and call them Republicans who are spreading the false narrative. What you guys getting?
So somebody may, they're all of them are going to retreat on this message because they see people getting sued, and this is a real life thing. This is not. This right here is not one of those Democratic threats. Like, if you don't do this, we're going to continue to threaten you with the same thing and do nothing. No, they have actually sued one child and Giuliani. I forget the other person they sued, but they have actually sued people. They're suing, people right now. So there's going to be the King of Pentacles, whoever this represents, could represent all of them. They're going to retreat from that message. They're going to kind of have to. Here with the Ten of Swords and the Five of Pentacles, they're going to be out in the cold because of a loss. So either, and it's a huge loss. This is not little loss. There's cards to indicate little loss. This is big loss. This is, as in, I'm going to sue you for billions of dollars that I know you don't have. Therefore, I'll settle for 23 or whatever. The big money here, there is a single solitary entity or person behind the pettiness of you're not going to do this to my company type thing. This, whoever this is the one issuing all these burdens.
Yeah.
In the end, the Six of Pentacles, somebody is going to have to settle though, because this was actually damaging. Because mind you, slander is verbal, libel's written.
Yep.
But slander, you have to show how this cost you money. You can't just say, I'm suing you for slander and, case dismissed or whatever. You have to show us how this cost you money, how that slander cost you money, or how this libel cost you money and reputation. And then you can win the case. But somebody here, it just might settle. So that means their cases are actually working. So I think they're going to retreat from this.
Mm-hmm. I got the same thing in the recent past. Well, first and foremost, let's start with the monkey's ass in the room. The whole reading starts off with the devil.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Crossed by the Eight of Wands. So there is something that is going to be a new action. Something's going to happen. In the recent past, though, here is this hangman, this sacrifice, and this change of perspective. They're going to move forward, though. The Chariot, they're going to move away from this messaging. Why? Because the strategy is not working for them anymore with this Five of Swords, this trying to have this, and it was actually Five of Swords reversed. It wasn't working for them. So they're going to have to move forward and move on because, again, there is nothing like a $1.53 billion lawsuit slapped on your ass that will make you kind of change your tune real quick.
Yeah, I have my Republican card on the bottom. So apparently Spirit wants to talk about Republicans in general. It's like they're watching and waiting. Their challenge is to shift the conversation to COVID. This is my COVID card, to try to get away with what they've done. But there's investigations at the root of this and legal people looking at this. But I get that new leader of the Republican Party. There's a rally around that new leader. Things will change. But I think three in particular, they get the sword of truth for their lies. They also get an offer that they don't like and have to go away. and it's a big legal problem. They're going to get a lot of attention on this too, so that they don't want. So I think 3 of them may have to actually go away.
I wonder if it's Fox News, the ones that's because they're trying to do the whole voting machine thing too. Now they have to back off and talk about something else.
Mhm.
New narrative, new Republicans, COVID this, and now COVID is going to be Biden's fault, and
Yeah.
Do we know who is going to be the first, though, to change the narrative? Do you think it'll be the Republican Party, or do you think Fox News? Will it be the dog wagging the tail or the tail wagging the dog?
I think Fox will go along with whatever comes out of the Republican Party.
Mhm.
They're going to reiterate it.
President Biden. What if so? During his inauguration, he's the first president ever, let history tell it, to utter the words "white nationalist" in an inaugural speech. So, what effect will President Biden calling out white nationalists have on the country? No, I have a very, very dear friend who was in the Bush and the Obama administrations under the DOJ, and there had been a lot of progress made on white nationalists and white supremacy groups that all came to a screeching halt the day Trump took office, which is why they quit. It's like they said, we literally took 55 steps backwards. So will him calling this out, what change will it make? What effect will it have on the country?
So what I get is good in one way and not in another. I get the lover's card. I did a reading, it'll come out eventually, about will the country come together? And I was saying in the reading that the country is always together. They were just facing in different directions, but Donald Trump made you realize that you have always been together. That's why the numbers were too big to rig and too big to fail, so forth and so forth. You always together. I equated it to you being in a neighborhood. You're behind your closed door in your house, but you're all still on the same street. Mm-hmm. So when you come out and you focus your energy in the same place, then you realize you were always together. So this is why the lover's card is here. This is the community. This is us. They, on the other side, these goofy boys and all these people who think that they are somehow supreme beings because their skin is pale, they will go away. Here with the 8 of Cups and the 2 of Pentacles. They will be out of balance and they will go away. If they, however, here with the Star and the Ace of Wands, will just wait for a turn to come back. So go away is not actually the proper term. They will more than likely go back into hiding under whatever rock they were in. And then in 4 years' time, you'll see them again. Mm-hmm. But right now, you won't have to fool with them for at least good 4 years, but they'll be back.
Yeah, I have Biden here. In the past, that a lot of people are looking at it as like it was an image thing that he spoke about this and brought it up in the speech because the country is so divided. You know, America is so divided. But there will be some sudden breaks with that darker energy as more investigations are coming out. There'll be more that walk away from the Trumpian energy or go into hiding, lay low. There will be some changes, but they're still strong. They're still strong out there. So they're not done yet. You know, they look for new inspiration.
They are not, because let's just have a real talk moment. And if you can't handle real talk, then you may need to go ahead and drop off this live right now. This country was founded on the notion of white supremacy. Our forefathers, when they wrote the Constitution, made sure that the slaves that they had enslaved
stayed enslaved,
counted as 3/5 of a person. Okay, so there's a mental trap with the 8 of Swords. They feel temporarily trapped. However, it is crossed by the Lovers, just like Johnie had. Again, this is a notion that's not going away any time soon. It's as old as this country. The quicker you can accept it, the quicker we can fight it. Don't put your blinders on and act like this was a new thing. No, boo-boo, this was here. Just because you didn't have a grandfather who was a klux, that you know of at least, doesn't mean that this doesn't exist and this wasn't here. So it's crossed by the levers. They were sharing in the recent past, though, sharing of resources and ideas, i.e. even bribing certain politicians. We wonder why Mitch McConnell is where he is. You don't just become that rich for no reason.
You have to remember there are many races who do not belong to white supremacy organizations.
Exactly.
But they still enable them because they support the language that they speak.
You have to remember it's a bubble, okay? So you've got in the very small center of this bubble is the actual neo-Nazi KKK Proud Boys. Then when you get a little bigger in the circle, then you've got the people who know people who are in the Proud Boys. Then when you get a little further out, then you've got the friends and family, but they're still all connected. Then when you go further out, you've got your Fox News watchers, and it just keeps going. So it's all connected. It's not going to go away. The Fool is at the base of this in the Three of Wands. They still love the notion of Donald Trump, which we'll read on that the next question. So there are plans to continue this message, to continue the rhetoric. But right now in the immediate future, though, is the Five of Cups. There's going to be some loss. I don't think he shut them up. I think his actions, he can show them better than he can tell them. If he starts passing more legislation, getting more people together, like Johnie said and Jen said, it will kind of keep them quiet for a second. They'll just go back into the recesses of their basements, find new social media platforms, and continue the chat, but they're not going to go away. They just aren't. Speaking of their people's blind devotion to the orange furor, which is probably why I grabbed the orange pen and didn't even realize I did. Will Trump continue to have a cult following? A lot of readers have predicted sooner rather than later he was going to go away. Some of the other people like me and Johnie, Jen and Becca, a couple others were like, nah, this ain't going away anytime soon.
Look at Hitler. He's been gone how long, and he still has a cult following.
Yeah, exactly. So will he continue to have his cult following?
Purely for entertainment purposes, only YouTube.
There's a Trump sign down the street from here in the yard of a person who spent a lot of money for their house. So you can put whatever you want in your yard, but you do realize he lost.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you don't put Romney Ryan sticker still on your car, because you can't get it off.
I did notice one of my neighbors that had a Trump sign in their yard until January 6th. And after that, his Trump sign quietly went.
Did it come down?
It might have crossed the line for him. I'm not sure yet.
I was like, did somebody snitch his sign or did he voluntarily remove it?
That's crazy.
It just kind of, I noticed when I went out for the mail on January 7th, his little sign wasn't out there in the corner. And he always put it in the corner facing my house, because I always had Democrat signs in my yard. Like, take this woman.
Will he continue to have a following? Yes, but it will diminish, but it takes time. Here with the 8 of Swords and the 4 of Swords, they are trapped. And see, here's the thing. The 8 of Swords is not trapped. It is not technically trapped. This is a cage of your own making. It's kind of like the 2 of Swords grew up. You know how you have the head over heart. You don't want to see. You don't want to make a decision. Now she tied her hands behind her back, so she's no longer holding the sword. She don't want to do nothing whatsoever. She can't cut herself free, all this type of stuff. And then she put more swords around herself. This is a cage of your own making due to your not dealing with your problems in the beginning. Here with the 4 swords is the same thing. Rest and retreat. I'm not looking at it. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not talking about it. They know within their core of core, their heart of hearts, that this man, if he was in their family, they wouldn't like him. He's a liar and a thief, unless you just like them kind of people in your family. I mean, you do what you do. But I think if he was in their family, they would not like him. But they are rested upon them some good old Donald Trump. They will continue to support and feed him their energy, their money, their whatever the case may be. Through investigations here, through revelations, through light being shown upon, they will defend because it is now fake news. No matter what it is that you say is fake. So they will be stuck in the past forever and ever. This will be their guy until they all die.
I heard as I started to pull cards, I heard all the way to court they'll follow him.
The outside can't free OJ.
Yeah, it's like, and they didn't get any pardons. It's like they're highly emotional. The challenge is for them to have any power. They can't. They won't have the power because he's gone. But they're highly erratic. They're the thievery. It's emotional immaturity. But they have a job to do that they're going to follow their little celebrity apprentice president for quite some time. Trump is here, and they're confused about a lot of things. They have a lot of anxiety, for things they're trying to plan and get off the ground, and all these investigators coming at them. But they even like dying of COVID because most of them didn't even have masks on in the Capitol. They don't care. They just will not accept the truth.
Yep. Something will happen. It is like any cult. It is, you can be drugged across hot coals, butt naked, while your mother's brains are being eaten, and you still won't believe it, but you'll have a few who see the light. But it's going to be very difficult for them to get out of that indoctrination. They are overly emotional in the past, almost like Trump knew what he was doing by saying all the rhetoric, stolen election, whatever. He's keeping them to him. He's keeping that emotion to him. Okay. And in the base of this is this Four of Pentacles. They're holding tight. May not necessarily be, it's a toss up, and time will tell if they're holding tight to Trump, the person, or holding tight to Trump, the persona, as in all the messages, things that he does. Any jackass can walk in the same persona and they'll still follow the rhetoric, the idea, the notion, just switch places. However, there will be a change in perspective that's coming up in the near future. This part was the gasser. I gagged on this, right? And the environment is the magician, so kind of spinning things. But the word of warning, children, is the fucking emperor. The man himself is in your word of warning.
It's not good for you.
Because he's Medusa. He'll take you down.
And when he takes them down with him, then and only then will they move forward with the Two of Wands. But it's not going to be until literally, they go bankrupt, something happens.
They go to jail. They
go to jail. Half of them are already mad because they knew once they stormed the Capitol, he would give them all a damn pardon, and they were just, and he was like, block. He didn't answer the phone for none of y'all. Okay, but you still want to follow it. All right. Again, couldn't happen to better people. Let's actually look at the rioters, since we just left off an insurrectionist. Will any of them actually be brought up on murder charges? We've got footage of the people who killed the guard with a freaking flag. Thank you, ma'am. I can never say your name.
Asantewa.
Asantewa. Thank you, Johnie. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friends. May your generosity be returned to you immediately. Will any of these murderers actually be brought up on murder charges?
It's all on film, or even attempted murder. I mean, the cops that squished in the doors that they were beating and crushing. And
let's talk about the hit y'all put out on AOC. What's going to happen? Y'all were looking for hits with the noose in
Pelosi.
You know, come on. Will any of these people be brought up on murder charges? Will they be charged?
Tasers in their pocket. Killed one of their own.
How do you? I'm sorry. I'm trying so hard not to laugh at that man's death because it's awful. But you tased yourself in the balls and you gave yourself a heart attack. You can't make this up.
That's some serious karma right there.
Serious karma. Like
when you shot yourself the first time. Did anything say either stop doing this or move this?
Like,
no, let me go. Oh, what was that?
I smell pubic hair burning. Something.
Did I tell you guys about the time I tased myself? Okay. That's why I don't understand how he tased himself twice. I don't get it. Picture it, Atlanta, Georgia, like back in the early 2000s. So even though I lived in a nice neighborhood, it had gotten kind of a little shoot 'em up, bang, bang in my neighborhood. So when I would leave the car at night, I'd have a taser in my hand, locked and loaded, ready to go. Because I'm like, I'm a single woman, walking to my door. Well, somehow I'm walking up the stairs and have shopping bags all down my arms. And somehow my arm slipped. Arm went down, pushed the trigger, and tased myself in my own damn thigh. And it just zipped for 2 seconds. All I remember is laying out in the hallway. I'm screaming. I may have pee-peed a little on myself. And I just saw stars. And that shit hurt, y'all. It hurt. It hurt. I still have those. I still have the scars from the prong marks in my daggone thigh.
Your electricity.
And it was a half a nanosecond. It slipped. And I was like, oh my God. And I mean, literally, I'm pretty sure I pee-peed. Just a little drop. So how he tased himself in his own testiculars twice baffles me.
TrumpSupporter.com.
We may have to throw cards on that. How did this happen?
Let's read that next. How did he do? How?
It reminds me, because you know the Simpsons predict everything. It reminds me of Bart standing there at the stove going, "Ow, ow, ow." It hurt the first time. Change your behavior. That's what life is supposed to teach you.
Because let's be real. After I slightly tased myself, ask me where that damn taser is. For all I know, it's still in the hallway of my old condo building. I was like, F this, F that, F electricity. If y'all gonna get me, y'all just gonna have to get me. I'm not fighting back with no damn taser. No, I don't get it. I don't get it. What did you guys get? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm still shuffling because I'm laughing so much.
I was like, I didn't even go up on my.
I pulled cards, but I forgot the question. Will any of them be tried for murder? So
yes, that's it. Sorry.
The Ace of Cups and the Nine of Cups. There is possibly a plea bargain for this here. I believe that there might be kind of like they did for the Afro-Cuban guy, Enrique. They might be trying to get to the core of this sale. They might trying to get other people and so forth and so forth. Because somebody gets a plea, but they're stuck still. They're not, it's not like, okay, I'll give you a plea and you'll get lesser sentence. It's like, I'll give you a plea and not put you in general population or something of that nature. You're still going to jail. But yes, I do think so. They will at the very least have a suspect here with the Tower and the Seven of Wands. So someone is going to be called to the carpet for it, though. and in front of a judge.
I think so too.
Absolutely. Yep. What you get, Jen?
I get new action, with from a investigator or through the courts. I got the courts on the bottom here, and this is their legacy because it's premeditated. It's like a premeditated murder. We're going to go there. We're going to storm, and we don't care if anybody dies. And we did it in whose name? Trump's name. So the challenge is this is Dark Night of the Soul stuff, people. There's nothing you can do about it. You're just going to have to live through it and go through it. But it is going to be brought back to Trump that he's the one that told us to go there. So there's a full circle moment with this. And I think it's going to be for the security guard. They try to get a plea deal. I get that too. Like they try, and there's other like-minded people with us that are also having to defend themselves, but somebody's going to jail. Somebody's going to get isolated.
Yeah. Starts off with the 5 of Wands for me. So there is this tension and also inner fighting. I think they're trying to make whoever they're watching each other to see who's going to snitch first and to make sure they all keep their mouths shut. But it is crossed with the Ace of Swords. So that's one of my yes cards. There's going to be a new thought. There is going to be somebody, though, in the background who is connected, who's going to try to help with some type of coming in with funds. So I don't know who this person is. I don't know, some kind of support. But it's not going to work though, because again, I've got the 10 of Swords and the Death, major change. Somebody's getting locked TF up. You killed somebody. You beat them with the flag.
It's like, you got to go home to your family. He didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Has two little children. They're little kids. Won't see their daddy ever again. Cry me a river that you have to go to jail. Miss me with that. Like, seriously.
Fund the police, but it's okay to beat them to death.
Mm-hmm.
Purely for entertainment purposes, only YouTube. I'm being.
Do we want just to make ourselves laugh? Look at why that man tased himself in his own
Yes.
nuts.
Why didn't he stop after once?
Why didn't he stop after the first?
Comment was that Rain said maybe he liked it.
Where was his spirit guide? Time to tell him you need to put that taser down.
I have a really awful thought because I'm like, again, it went through, and keep in mind when I tased myself, it was winter. So I had a jacket and jeans on, and it still penetrated through all of those layers of clothes to my thigh, and it hurt like hell, which is making me think, is he used to having very painful things happen to his scrotum to where the first
he thought it was the picture giving off electricity or something.
I don't
A very sensitive part of the body, I would think, like it would hurt even worse than your thigh.
That's why I'm like, what? Unless you're used to people kicking you in your mandingles, why didn't you stop? What happened? That's it, man.
And we're being really petty now.
His wranglers.
Why didn't you stop?
His box of tricks.
Why didn't
His Laffy Taffy. His package of Rolos. His Harley Davidson.
Stop.
Oh.
I truly believe that he did not understand what was going on. He might have been caught up in the moment here with the self-discipline. He was not really, his mind was in a whole different place at the moment. I always say this, and I'm gonna keep saying this in all my readings. God and the universe, whatever it is that you think is higher than you, always gives you a way out.
Mhm.
Here with Mother of Dawn, this is beauty, agency, and compassion. He felt it. So that was your cue to stop doing whatever it is you're doing right now. Because, oh my God, something horrible just happened.
Mhm.
Okay, let me pause and think about what's going on. I just shocked myself in a place you don't want to be shocked. But his understanding was still clouded here with the maestro. So he didn't completely register. I need to stop doing this thing because something else happened. No, he just kept doing it, and then he did it twice, and then he died. And then you get to heaven, and then Jesus says, "What is you here for?" And he say, "Well, I shocked myself in the nads." Okay, well, stand here until you figure out how not to be
Johnny.
have you in there dirty enough.
Jesus knew because Jesus watched that shit go down.
But see, he always asks you an obvious question because he wants you to tell him the truth. I shocked myself in the nads, and now I'm here.
Like, when you're a parent and you send the kid off to think about something, and go think about what you just said.
He said, "You stand here until you're not stupid no more. You wander around the halls of heaven. We got scholars in here. We
got a lot more souls we can let reincarnate before you. You're right at the back of the line now, dude.
You can't even figure out how not to shock yourself. No.
I'm gonna need you to sit this one out, okay?
I get there was an abundance of people, in the riot, and he's like charging forward to the steps, and that he was blocked from, he was all charged up emotionally, but he was blocked from stopping it. Like he couldn't move his arm or something to get it off the trigger. It's like, get your finger off or whatever. But he also, his challenge was to live for another day, have another opportunity, be grounded, He's too hell-bent on charging in until the deed is done. So it's all this sneakiness, all this anxiety, all the bully cards are all there, charging in with this hidden agenda. And somebody turned their back on you and had another plan for you. Bye. Clarity of thinking was not there.
Whoever started singing Great Balls of Fire, you going to hell? You know in the chat who did it. I'm not going to call you out, but well played, my friend.
Ooh.
You know what? Cheers to you, my friend. That was a good one. On that one. How do I want to say this? He was the fool going in on this new mission, also prompted by the fool to go in on this new mission. The magician, he had what he thought was all his resources, i.e. the taser. However, he was holding on to it. He would not let it go. That's what I'm getting. He just, I think instead of...
how...
Petty spirit. I see what you did. Okay. Spirit's being an ass right now. Not being an ass. It's reminding me that I'm being an ass by being petty. So it just humbled me real quick. Y'all know that sometimes when you go to brake, but instead of braking, you press on the gas. And
I was just about to say that. You see it all the time. Like somebody drives through the window of a cafeteria, because they hit the gas instead of the brakes.
Or through a Walgreens.
Yeah. Are you a danger to yourself?
I am. I see what you did, Spirit. And I can't even be mad. I have to say, Spirit, well played. Well played. You humbled my ass up very quickly. That's exactly how he did it. He thought he was taking his thumb off, but instead, 4 pentacles, he was holding on tight. And that's how it happened. And then he saw the light. He met Jesus. Okay.
That's how I almost blew my hand off with firecrackers. I lit it, but I had a bunch of other ones. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't want to throw them all down, but I don't know how to throw one down without throwing the rest. And so I was literally doing this, but nothing was coming out because I wouldn't let it go. because I'm like, I don't want to throw them all. I just want to throw this one. And then it went pop. And then I dropped it, and then the rest of them went pop because one lit the other one. And then I had like a Wile E. Coyote situation.
And I just see Spirit is humbling me again. I get you. I hear you. Because here's the thing. Hypothetically, if I had driven into the Walgreens a few weeks after I got my driver's license, and unfortunately, I was old when I got my driver's license, so it's not like I can blame it on being very young. Hypothetically, when I drove into the Walgreens, I thought that maybe nobody heard me since I stopped. I finally found the brake once I got close to the glass. So I thought maybe if I back up and I could just go park, nobody will know what happened. The car got stuck because hypothetically, it only drove halfway off the front entrance. And so the wheels were spinning and
You parenthetically got caught.
Hypothetically, the entire store ran out and looked at me. Hypothetically, the moment it's just a Volvo running into a Walgreens. You kind of hear it. That's how that happened. I just got humble. Thank you for explaining that to me, Spirit. Y'all, the brake and the gas pedal are not the same apparatus, just so that you know.
Christine's reminding me of the other big karma play, the female writer carrying the "Don't Tread on Me" flag that got trampled to death. I mean, that's karma.
Karma.
That's like the clearest, like, bam.
She did though. Here's how you know your life was wasted. Because even Fox News was like,
so up in heaven, there's Jesus with these two numbnuts. Okay, you did what? Wait, you did what? Okay, both of y'all.
And then Jesus turned to God, and this is who you had me die for?
like, really?
We're talking about this.
Oh, my cheeks hurt.
I didn't know this story.
Yes, so she huge. Don't tread on me. I mean, it was bigger than like 3 people put together. It was massive. And as they're storming to go up, she somehow got Johnny stop.
You can't see her with this big flag. You're going to trample her to death.
Somehow they didn't see her in that big ass bright orange yellow flag. The size of 5 football fields, and she got trampled.
Karma seen her and turned to Father Time and said, "Watch this." And they both look like.
But don't miss this guy over here with the taser while you're watching her.
Mm-hmm.
It's I make fun of people dying, but oh my God!
But they tried to overthrow their own government. They don't get any sympathy.
They don't.
That's right.
Just like the people who all your boats sunk and y'all stood on there like the Titanic, just going down. Y'all didn't think to get off at all. Just all because Trump told you to go out there and put everything in the world on your boats and then have the big boats in front of the little boats, which never works because they create the wave, which is what sunk you. And then here you go with your "Don't Tread on Me" flag, and then you got stomped on.
And the shaman guy, he's now offering to testify in the impeachment trial that because Trump told them to do this. It's like we're gonna bring this shaman guy with the horns into the impeachment.
First of all, back up.
Oh, God.
Back up. You gonna bring in bitch ass Jamiroquai to testify against Trump after bitch ass Jamiroquai went publicly and said that he's pissed off because when he called Trump from that pardon, bring, Trump put his ass on read. That's going to be your star witness?
It's like nobody's taken him up on it yet. Imagine that. The Dems haven't taken him up on it, but his lawyer has offered to have him testify that Trump told him to charge the White House.
Why is he testifying? He should forgive him. He's a shaman.
He thinks it'll help him in court. if he testifies in the impeachment
Ooh.
trial.
You already got your organic bananas, boy. Shut the hell up. Sit here.
You already got out there, big as life, all these idiots, and now you're in trouble. Now let me come into the impeachment trial. It's like, no, we've had you enough in the Capitol. You don't get to go back in there.
Walking around shirtless with all your man nipples all over the flags and all your bad Halloween.
The taser guy for him.
So, while we're on the topic of the insurrectionists, let's take a look at something. So, one of the questions we got was, will the let's count them on our hands, 5 that we have counted for right now, Black insurrectionists be charged harsher? Because keep in mind that little Rebecca who stole Nancy Pelosi's computer was locked up on a Monday. She's out on bail Thursday. Meanwhile, the brother who was there, who was in the Capitol Rotunda, is still in jail. He can't get bailed out.
Amy Berman Jackson in D.C., the judge that helped with the part of the Bullard stuff, she is trying to scoop these people up that in the states where they're letting them loose and bring them into D.C. and like, no, you're staying in jail.
But will the Black insurrectionists be charged harsher? Again, I'm going to put my cards down. You don't have to be a psychic to know this. You just have to be an observer of United States history. The answer most likely is yes, because that is why you've got calls for, I'm going to call it refund the police right now. African Americans tend to be judged and treated harsher in the court of law. That's why you've got somebody serving a life sentence for having a couple ounces of weed in his pocket that he was probably going to smoke himself, but you guys are now charging for intent to distribute and sell, and he's in jail for 99 years. Meanwhile, the heifer who sold Nancy Pelosi's PowerPoint laptop, not even a good one that's nothing stored on there, that he used to have PowerPoint presentations. When you tried to sell that to Russia, you got bailed out and released to your mother on Thursday.
There is a book called The House That Jack Built. And it's like, in the house that Jack built, there was a rat, and then there was a cat, and then there was this. It's like the dog that ate the cat that ate the rat that lived in the house that Jack built. It's like it builds. There's a story to it. In this in particular situation, the reason I bring that up, there is here, just like Jen was saying, there are people that are going to the law. So you are going to DC. They're bringing you in from wherever it is you live because you are being extradited. Here is some investigators, just like cops, FBI, people like that. They're going to maybe even add some charges and things of that nature. There are 2 people right now, I'd screenshot their names, like Pizzola and Pepe or something like that. Those are 2 people who I think they live in New Jersey. They were brought down to DC, and one of them is going to be charged with insurrection. One of them is going to have a bunch of not trumped up charges, just a bunch of other stuff. Because he apparently had on his social media a video of himself saying he wanted to kill Nancy Pelosi and Mike Pence. So there's a bunch of charges that are going to be added to these people in this situation. Now, here's the unpopular part. I'm going to say it anyway, though. This is why I brought up the house to Jack built. You shouldn't have been a Trump supporter, number one. You shouldn't have had free time to go support Donald Trump. You should be somewhere trying to survive. Then you should not be listening to Donald Trump. And then you should not have booked a plane ticket to wherever you booked a plane ticket to DC, to wherever that you got on these buses and went down there to cause a riot. And then you should not have broken into the Capitol building. You should not have done any of that with black skin. So here with the devil, yes, there will be some unfair treatment. And in this one case, I do not shed a tear for you. I'm not marching for you. I'm not praying for you. We're not calling no ancestors for you. because you should have had your black ass somewhere having black ass problems. Not down there doing some insurrection with a bunch of people that don't like you and don't look like you.
Exactly.
But yes, they will have a harder time because that's just kind of the way our system is. This is unfair. This in my deck, the Emperor is not a good person. This is a person who abuses their power. So yeah, you will have a harder time, but whatever. I ain't calling Al Sharpton for you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super chat, Extreme Brands. Thank you so much. Sorry, go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, I get that. Like, there's going to be, this is a yes card on the bottom for me, but there's going to be illumination on that. The fact that they're charged differently. In particular, there's one celebrated person who gets the Tower card. So I don't know if that's that Ali Alexander that they still haven't caught yet. That one guy that planned Stop the Steal.
Mm-hmm.
He's somebody they haven't caught yet. But there's one out of the abundance that gets the Tower on them, and it's like treason, and there's an image thing involved with it. But I also get my Biden and Kamala cards like fighting about this a little bit, like sending a message about not doing that, not
Treating them unfairly.
treating them differently. I get like somehow that they get involved and they bring some strength to the situation. They change it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure what that's about, but yeah, I know they've been trying to do some things for prison reforms and stuff, but
Mm-hmm. Judgment is coming for him very quickly. They're gonna lock that ass up. I ain't got nothing else to say.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hi, Joanne. I got my journal. Thank you very much. I see you're in here.
Oh, yay. Johnie, I stay in your Amazon wish list just
to see what you need.
yes. Should take a painting, but I can't even.
This tarot, I was trying not to say it because I was trying not to take us off the thing too much.
Take it.
This black and shiny deck that you keep using, I need you to stop using it. Otherwise, I have to buy it. What is it called?
Who?
You.
It's the deck that you told me about 19 damn years ago.
Not that one. I got that one in my hand. What is? It's another one.
Oh,
Shining.
this one?
Yes. Good Jesus. What's that called?
Boo boo.
Don't do like me. I don't know what it is.
I don't. So I'm gonna be real honest. I've had this deck for so many years. I don't even remember because the sides are all jacked up now. If memory serves, I think they all came in a sheet and I had to pull the cards apart.
Oh,
That's how cheap they are.
Art and crafts now. No, thank you.
Because I think I got it from like Books a Million, like years and years ago, in one of those like learn how to do the tarot, and I just threw the book away because I liked the black and the gold, and they still had the Rider Waite. But Books a Million, how to read the tarot.
They're good and out of business.
Woo. All right. So let's talk about my current home, the district. Well, yeah, my home. I'm gonna call it the District of Columbia. So one thing that the pro argument for DC getting statehood is if DC were its own state, they could have called in the National Guard and done whatever and not had to go around the flim-flammery, bullshittery, and hognoggery. Hognoggery, you can have it. That's a word I will give all of you for free. Hognoggery is just another form of bullshittery. To get everybody through the 6th. So because of this, will DC now, is this another notch in the belt for an argument for DC to get statehood? Will DC ever get its statehood?
Yeah, I heard somebody submitted a bill or something to make them a state like last week.
They redid it. It's always up like every 14 seconds. But what they did was they pulled the original one that had just put up like right before, pulled it out, added all of the reasons after the January 6th, and then resubmitted it again.
Gotcha.
Because
Are they going to get statehood?
at least you're going to get statehood. Taxation without representation. Blah, 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 blah.
There's proof it's not true right there.
Mm-hmm. All 19 glorious miles of the District of Columbia. Will it become a state?
Puerto Rico has to send you, just like DC has to send you its money, and then you send it back to them.
Yep.
And say, here, you can spend it now. Then you got to buy everything from America after they jacked up the price 3 times.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing how the 4th most expensive city in the United States doesn't belong to a state.
You know.
The least bit.
But houses all your politicians.
Mm-hmm.
The 8 of Swords, the King of Wands. There will be somebody's hand, some leader here, and the hands are tied.
Mm-hmm.
The Hermit, the 4 of Wands. There will be a inquiry with the Hermit and the 4 of Wands into the, because mind you, no administration, Obama, Trump, nobody's administration has done this.
Nobody's.
It's not like a partisan, oh, the Democrats will do it. The Democrats need to do it because most of the people in Puerto Rico, Guam, the Virgin Islands, those are Democrats.
Yep.
So, but I get that there will be another hashing out of it with the Ace of Pentacles. There'll be another opportunity to look at it in possibly 4 years. So it's going to repeat this cycle to where we'll look at it now, but we might not do anything, and then we'll look at it again. And I hate politicians that you go to work for 8 hours. You got task after task after task after. If you work 8 hours, you may work 9, 10, 11, but you got task after task after task. These people who make more money than us only do one thing at a time in a country of 300 million people. So they're going to act like we don't have the time to do that because we got to work on funding and we got to work on this bill. And so, yeah, it'll get passed around. Right?
I get they're thinking about it and talking about it, that it's presented up in the House again here as a way of blocking other people like Trump, when he comes along and gives them, someone inside the Senate and the House to represent them. But I get like it's erratic, like hanging on the way it is and then having to work across the aisle, getting stuck in it somehow, trapped and trying to figure out how to do it, having to do more work on the bill. And then I get clarity and a yes finally. So I'm with Johnie. Like it's a little ways down the road. It's not going to be like this year, like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
But it's you know how they like to stick other stuff in bills. It's like they got to keep working on it and tag something else in there.
That's exactly what I got. I got that my outcome cards, the Hierophant, so they're going to fight this out. I pulled a clarifier. I got the Star, which is one of my yes cards. However, just to your point, it's going to both of your points. 10 of Wands is going to be a hard fought burden, and they're going to, with the Page of Swords, they're going to sneak in some other stuff. It's going to be in a bill with a whole bunch of other stuff, like, taking away women's reproductive rights or some craziness like that. They're going to add it in there. That's why y'all got to read these bills when they come out, and that's why you got to vote.
I wish they would pass a bill that says each bill has to be a standalone, that they can't tackle.
They tried to do that too once, a Clean Bill Act, and it didn't pass either.
We can't even.
They dirtied up the Clean Bill Act.
Yeah. It's like, y'all, come on. Let's look at one of our favorite people, Mike Pompeo. What legal charges will he face? What's up for his you in trouble, girl. What is in store for him, his legal future?
In his legal
Mike Pence is out looking for an apartment. He's homeless.
Johnie, was that you saying he's that poor child and mother couch surfing right now?
Oh, they as Pence, there was a story that they're couch surfing because they don't have a house because they used to live in the governor's mansion. Now he's not governor. He went from that to vice president. And once you left the vice president residence, now it's not move-inable either because they got to fix this and fix that. I think a chimney stack or something stupid. I don't know, but now Kamala Harris, excuse me, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, and oh boy, I don't know what is his name. I don't even know.
Doug Emhoff.
Doug. Okay, both of them, they can't move in. They don't have a house either, but not the house they're supposed to.
I mean, Mike Pence should have been looking. He knew he was not going to be living there.
Yeah.
Because this story grates the inner hair of my ass. Because, okay, it's not like Trump was a 2-term president. The bastard barely got through 4 years. Yeah. You were just governor. What were you? That was only 4 years ago. There was nothing in your brain that said, I probably should start looking for a place to live because. And you haven't been gone from your home state that long. It's only been a couple years. Like,
give him a taser because he'd probably tase himself.
These people, I swear.
Pompeo.
He can go stay with one of his buddies, I'm sure.
Yeah. Mike, what did you think was going to happen? That you were going to live in the White House all of a sudden? The Bidens were going to let you move in? Like, bro, please. All right, Pompeo, what you got?
They should have kept him. Kept him as Halloween decorations. Put him in the closet with the rest of them.
These people, help me, Lord.
So during this administration, he is going to have a burden. I get the King of Cups here. This could also be a leader that's across the pond, and the Nine of Wands. Now, mind you, Mike Pompeo is sanctioned by China. I did a reading on him that shows that his troubles are really just beginning because of foreign leaders that are not on his side. I also get the Five of Swords and the Magician. There's somebody with a lot of power that is using that power in a very harsh manner. And this might be China. This might be somebody like that. At the moment, what he is trying to accomplish is the things he was trying to finish up before Trump left, but he's trying to do them under the Biden administration and cannot. Because he is not Secretary of State. He is not even a politician right now. He's just a guy on the street. The Ace of Cups and the Three of Cups, he is still trying to work with some people that he was working with before. These are the things that he's trying to offer up. However, he doesn't have anything that they need. So his strategy sort of meets suffering to where, again, somebody, I'm just going to keep saying China. China has put him in a position where he is not really worth it for anybody.
Yeah. So
his legal troubles are going to just start because somebody's going to compound issues to where this and this happened tied to Pompeo. This and this happened is going to be tied to Pompeo. So it's going to be a lot of that, I think, coming up for him.
Yeah.
I get something that affected national security, but I also get something else here. It's like, because whatever he did, it was treasonous. It was a betrayal of our country. And, the challenge will be to get him in jail for it. Also something about the 6th, so maybe something to do with COVID that he gets burdened over also. But he's got lawyers and investigators galore getting ready to hit him. There's something that he and Trump bullied someone into submission for money. So whether that's Ukraine or whatever, he gets put in defense mode for that also. And something sneaky that he did with a foreign leader that was corrupt and done in secret that led to someone's death. So he collaborated with someone that's corrupt on something and it caused someone's death.
I can't stand these people.
Mhm.
It's making my stomach bubble.
I'm gonna go warm my tea up. I'll be right back.
My Pompeo just gave me gas. I'm serious. Like my stomach just started going bloop, 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 bloop. Okay. There's some illumination coming out about some people that he has been in cahoots with in the past. He is extremely burdened by it because this is what crosses the reading. Something either coming to a completion or this is going to be played out on a global stage. And unfortunately, I got the Hierophant. There's going to be a lot of this is far from over for him. There's going to be a lot of stuff. I love that the sun was at the base of this. There's going to be a lot of illumination. I keep hearing this is just the beginning. We're going to hear so much hognoggery about the stuff that he was doing with Trump, the dirty deeds that they were making. And I keep getting, instead of complete, I'm thinking like globally too. Like this is going to be.
It feels like to me, the image that I kept getting, I did the reading, I think days ago, but the peach cobbler was awful, Caroline.
I saw that come in the chat. I was like, you don't want to ask him how that peach cobbler was.
The image I keep getting is him up against a wall, and it's got cracks everywhere, and there's water pouring through those cracks. And all we need now is just a little more pressure, and the whole thing is going to cave in. And I think that's what's coming for him.
Yeah.
Because he's been in just about every country you could think of, and I guarantee you he left a fingerprint there.
He did.
Some sort of thing that he did, some sort of deed that was done in the dark, more than likely, as he had that position. And for whatever reason, nobody anticipated a one-term Trump. and I sort of get it because they had all their cheating strategies in place.
They had no idea that that wasn't going to play out for them. They had no idea.
They was like, okay, well, he's going to win again. So, you know.
And then we'll have 4 more years to keep covering up and building upon the mess that we started, which is why Mother and Dorothy don't have a house. That's why Blanche and Sophia don't have a house right now because they just knew 4 years, you know. And then what I'll do is a year into his 4 years, I'll go ahead. Then I'll throw out the 25th. So then I can be like, no, you didn't.
And there was way too many people. And I always just kind of wonder if they didn't throw away votes, if they didn't rig the election, how many votes would Biden have gotten? Because this was way too many people for them to screw up. They couldn't throw away enough. They couldn't block enough. They couldn't disenfranchise enough. They couldn't purge enough. They couldn't do enough to give him another term. There was way more people than they ever thought there would be. And then again, you should have seen that coming too.
You should have seen it.
You spent 4 years being a horrible person.
You had everything. You were in the White House. You had everything at your fingertips, and you still screwed the pooch. You still couldn't pull it off.
96 million. I bet it would have been, Joanne. Like, because he had 80. I bet it would have been even more. You literally threw away votes, like in the trash. Just throw them away. Now, mind you, it was probably some Republicans in there too, because I don't think you sifted through. I think you just threw them away.
Yep.
But how did you think that he was going to win after he spent 4 years proving to people why he was a bad idea?
Yeah.
Even some of his own people at that time, we never were on his side. But even some of his own people were like, you know what? I made a mistake. I made a mistake. And then Pence has nowhere to stay because you thought you were going to be there. Pompeo has his deals they're not wrapped up because he thought they were going to be there. Jared Kushner's, his deals were not wrapped up because they thought they were going to be there. Now all y'all out of a job.
All y'all.
And y'all seen this coming. So,
Jenn Lynn, stop texting and making tea at the same time.
she better text from the kitchen.
While we're waiting on Jen to be back, couple things. Do some more housekeeping. Next Friday, Johnie, Jace from Jace Hernage. And if you have not checked out Jace on her Saturday Petty Parties, I just put her channel in the chat. Please go check her out. We've got a double whammy next week. Friday night, we're doing horoscopes. So please come, and it'll be Friday, like 7-ish Eastern on my channel again. Jace will do Oracle. Johnie will do Oracle. I'll do Oracle. It's all horoscope based, no political reading. So come in if you want to break from politics and to know what your February is going to look like. If you're in danger, whatever's going to happen, come check that out Friday night. And then Saturday night, the following night, it's Petty Party on Jace's channel. So I put her link in the chat. Petty Party is absolutely hilarious. I think I pee-peed on myself. I don't have a bladder problem, by the way. I know this is like the 19th time tonight I say it. Absolutely hilarious. Please go show Jace some love. Subscribe to her channel as well. Lots of politics and pettiness. Definitely, if you have a proclivity for sensitivity, that's not for you, because we keep it 100% raw, real on Jace's channel. Johnie or Jen, you guys have any housekeeping while we're taking a quick break? Anything you guys want to announce? Or
we're on Johnny's channel tomorrow night. Yes. Johnnie posted on his community tab, and I will later to get questions for tomorrow night.
Yes.
I'm going to repost because I posted something. Every time you post something on YouTube, it pushes down the last thing you posted. So I'm going to repost for questions for tomorrow. If you have questions for tomorrow, you can go in and leave them there. We don't take questions from the chat. You have to leave them in that little dealie, and then we will write them down and do our best to get to at least 10 of them out of 45. And also on February the 18th, I believe it was, we will be doing a charity stream for K9's Companions for Independence, which is a service that gives service dogs to wounded vets, the invisible wounds, the PTSD that they deal with. It gives animals to the vets, and it gives it to them for free. So we're going to be raising money for them, and then the next couple months we will fill you in on something we're doing there too. But that's what I got.
I got another petty question.
Okay.
Pro-Trump lawyer Lucian Lynn Wood from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. He has to take a mental health exam to keep his Georgia law license.
He has to pass a health exam?
Yeah, a mental health exam, because he's pro-Trump and he's a huge, like, you went to college. You had like the best education to become a lawyer, right? And you read all these conspiracy theories about the election and everything in Georgia. Now he's got to take a mental health exam to keep his Georgia law license.
He did say Mike Pence should be executed.
Yeah. Will he pass his mental health exam?
I'm going to do runes. Where's the rune card?
In the South, we have a saying, which is you don't ask if there's anybody crazy in your family. You ask which side they're on. So I can't with these people.
Well, I saw the devil on the bottom. I gotta keep shuffling. He's probably going to try to fix that vote too on his mental health.
Jace, you'll have to give us the skinny on what's going on with Lynn Wood. What's the ATL saying in them streets? I know you keep your ear to the ground. What are they saying about Lynn? Lynn passed the mental examination. Oh, why is that funny to me?
It's hysterical to me. I'm like,
why is that funny to me?
Oh my God. He might lose his law license.
Yeah, this isn't looking good. I don't even know if I need to keep it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
No. He's not only is he not going to pass, he's going to have to no. Nope. Those are his outcome cards.
Yeah.
And the crown of this is a change perspective. Nope.
He's cray. He's causes chaos, at the structure of things. And, here's whoever's judging him. Some of it is premeditated. So he gets the sword of truth on him. He has to go away. He's got anxiety, and he's put in defense mode, and there's a little delay in it, a little watching. So maybe observing him, like how he behaves, looking at his text messaging also, and in particular about Trump. And he is blocked from his law license. Yeah. He gets cut from it, separated.
Out. What the runes say, Johnie?
Woo, woo. There's Sawillo. Sawillo is the sun. So this is anything the sun would represent, something big, something hot, something polarizing, something magnetized, something whatever. But it could be also something obvious because you cannot hide the sun. I can't speak Spanish, but Becca and her expression, you can't hide the sun with your thumbs unless you change your perspective and you try to do it with one eye, but it's still there. Canaz is exposure. Unyo is joy. Now I'm thinking, okay, this is a good thing. This is happiness. This is joy. Mm-hmm. Othala is oppression, and Manaz is mankind. Ingwaz is a lie. What's going to happen? Okay, I'm going to go with the tarot too and tell you what it says. There's the devil. There's the tower. There's the six of swords. It's like, get this man out of my office right now. Like, he's going to go in there, and it is going to be completely obvious that he has lost his darn mind.
Yep.
Like it's almost like he goes into the office and he starts eating his own hand or something. Like it's going to be completely obvious.
He's the dead hand of Mitch McConnell or something.
It's going to be that obvious, though. It's not going to be something you have to really deliberate on. It's you're going to see it.
Well, you guys, we've got somebody joining us.
Mitch McConnell or something.
Hello. I was just coming in here to hang out with you guys because, as you can see, I'm still cooking. I'll just mute my mic because I was listening to you guys. I was cracking up so bad I almost chopped off a finger with this damn knife. When you guys were talking about the guy that tased himself in the balls and the lady that got trampled on with the don't tread on.
Well, when you cut off one finger, stop. Don't keep going.
Well, I managed to chop all these vegetables without cutting myself, but I'm just going to mute myself.
Okay.
Life at Becca's house.
Life at Becca's house. Well, again, can't happen to better people. Let's get down to, okay, I want to look at a couple look at a couple people specifically, okay? I mean, it's not like we haven't been petty all night, but I got a couple particular petty questions. Let's start with petty number one. How do Democrats feel about Joe Manchin? Is he a Republican plant?
That's a good question. How I feel about him.
I feel about him.
I'm just going to ground here a little bit and try not to project into the cards.
Let me spray you. Okay.
Joe Manchin.
How do they feel? Is he a Republican plant?
I'm gonna Google his face. I don't know his face.
West Virginia.
Yep. That jackass. Who votes Republican for freaking everything. He votes Republican.
Oh, that jack-o'-lantern.
Yes, him.
Always on MSNBC too.
I'm surprised he's not a QAnon guy.
Did you know, though, Jen, if like that came out in a couple of days, that wouldn't surprise me. Because he's just that deep I was always suspicious about how he won West Virginia anyway, being a Democrat. Y'all look at, I want to look at if he's a Republican plant.
Hi, Jody.
Hi, Jody. Did you move yet? Or is that like next weekend? I can't keep up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's in the Senate, right? He's a senator.
Yes.
I get like the boss, which is probably Schumer. Like and Nancy, like they kind of keep an eye on him. They see him working across the aisle, but not in a good way. It's more like in his messaging that he sends. He goes over to the Republicans too much, and they're wondering how he's going to be on the stimulus relief for COVID, if he'll stand in power with the Democrats or not. But they watch themselves around him. They don't give everything up to him because they don't trust him. Yeah. He's a bully. He causes a lot of chaos within the party. He is a little bit of a Trumpster. So they try to keep him silent and hope he just goes away. Yeah. He does seem like pro-Trump. Mm-hmm. He might end up getting an investigation on him if he's not careful.
I got that he is a Republican plant. It starts with the self-sacrifice with the hanged man crossed by the Ten of Pentacles. So that's the Republican Party actually putting money. He's a puppet for them in some way, shape, or form, or he's heavily financed by him or by them. He causes a lot of burdens for the Democrats, and they like that. That's at the base of this. At the top is strength, though. That is his strength. That's why they keep him around, because he makes life difficult for the Democrats when it comes to his job. And yes, he is all about the treachery, winning at all costs. So I do think he's either heavily financially backed by the Republicans, or he is just a flat out plant for entertainment purposes only. YouTube. What you got, Johnie?
I asked, do they suspect that he is a Republican plant? I get no. I get they know he is. So it's not like, I wonder. Here Inna sits with the Six of Cups, is crossed with the Ten of Swords. There is no innocence. They know what side his bread is, and they know where this butter comes from. Mm-hmm. The Ace of Cups, this is the 1% of the Democrats. So this is like the top echelon, the Pelosi, Schumer, and the people, the household names. The big wigs, they know. Here with the confusion part, they don't trust because there's no reason to. With the Eight of Wands, they know where some of his money comes from. With the Seven of Pentacles and the Lover's card. They know who he's tied to. They know who is invested in him. And so that is the reason that they don't trust him. It's because they know where your money come from. And where your money is, that's where your allegiance lies. And so it's not with us. If you're going to take money from like the Koch brothers, they obviously do not have a democratic agenda, but they gave you money anyway. So you cannot possibly be a Democrat. It's like Cory Booker Jr. to me.
Yeah, there's always been a few Dems that like took money from like the NRA and stuff. Mm-hmm. So
I zoned out.
Fight against everything you're fighting for.
I was so busy listening to both of you two, and I was shuffling my cards on mute that I forgot that I'm the host.
Don't you hate that? I hate that. Like, oh wait, what was the next question?
I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm supposed to be getting ready for the next. I'm sorry. So going into the people petty people, we being petty on pissy people part of tonight's read. I'm going to read the question exactly how it was given to me, which is, what's wrong with Lindsey Graham?
Where do we start?
Which one?
What is wrong with Lindsey Graham? Let me pull all my my cat snatching oracle cards out for this young gentleman.
What's for dinner, Becca, while we're shuffling?
I hope one of y'all can read lips.
Didn't catch that.
She'll come back and tell us in a minute. What is wrong with Lindsey Graham? Maybe this is a question we ask Spirit. Spirit tell us?
Actually a good question.
Yeah.
I'm getting some hits.
Getting some hits on the Lindsey. What is wrong with Lindsey Graham?
Oh, I don't need no more cards, but I'm gonna pull them anyway. That just a butterfly turned a cartwheel in my stomach. Just
And before anybody comes for us in the chat, let me just say something. I need everybody to understand this.
I wish you would.
This is nothing to do with him being a homosexual. This is the fact that it is a well-known fact that he is gay, but continues to write anti-LGBTQIA legislation. This is the same person who has fought against any kind of equality, wellness for anybody. So no, it has nothing to do with him being gay. It has everything to do with him being a horrible human being.
He's a hypocrite. What? Oh, you pulling cards too, Becca?
I'm like multitasking. I'm sorry. I was being rude. I didn't know Adrian was going to let me in. I just wanted to be in backstage. So
Yeah.
So go ahead, Jen. I'm just gonna say something else.
Nostalgia. He's wanting the power again, is what I'm getting. He's trying to find power, and justice. Here, he shows up as the justice card. So his balance. He wants, his challenge is to be the inside man that knows everything, but he lies. Also, that inside man's a liar. He feels he's getting the crumbs. And he wants to move ahead. He wants to be more successful. So I think he's like kind of vying for Mitch McConnell's, leader title here. He's all concerned with image. He drinks, and that's the problem. He drinks a lot. He takes money from people to manipulate, and does a lot of things in secret. And then I'm not sure what I'm getting here. I'm going to have to ask again, because there's something about taking the wisdom within and then backstabbing. Like that's his plan, is to constantly backstab. And Trump has really set him off balance. Uh-oh. Come back.
Hold on. That was me. I don't know how the hell that happened. Or maybe she did it.
no.
It was going in and out. It's probably stuck.
Okay.
Oh, what you got, Johnie?
I got a whole bunch of malarkey. So the first thing, actually, my message is obvious. Actually, first card I pulled, acceptance. Okay. Let me say this first off and first most. You do not force a person out the closet. You don't tell them they have to come out the closet for two reasons. Number one, I got this in my dream. Maybe that's why I got this in my dream. Don't judge my journey when you can't count my steps. You don't know where I'm going. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know how it is I'm getting there. You don't know what it took me to even get here.
Exactly.
So don't judge my journey. But number two, this is why you don't yank somebody out the closet. Are you going to be there for him if all his friends and his family disown him? Now, me personally, I'd yank him out because he's a horrible person. Because he is proactively hurting people just like him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in his in particular case, he does not accept himself. Yep. Now, he accepts himself when ain't nobody looking because it's comfortable. You can be as as fruity for Cocoa Puffs as you possibly want to when ain't nobody looking. You can put your skirts on and switch and whatever you want to do. But when people are looking, then you try to speak with a little bass in your voice and act like you're a man all of a sudden. So his acceptance, his boundaries, he's trapped in this. He kept himself trapped in this because he don't want to be who he is on the outside because he may not be accepted. Then there's the moon and the lover's card, his mysteries, his late night Lady G moments. Meanwhile, everybody knows it and he still denies it. Now was the time that you could say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I do. I like a little prostitution now and then. But he copes. He medicates, self-medicates, alcohol, whatever it is he's probably snorting in his nose or swallowed down his throat that ain't got nothing to do with a man. So his acceptance and his lifestyle is the reason. That's what's wrong with him. It's always an inner core thing. This stuff on the inside is what makes people behave the way they do on the outside. That's what I get. And then his morality is on the bottom. So battling with your religion and your traditions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Miyagi, for the super chats. Thank you, ma'am. Becca, what you get?
I get it's who bought him. New opportunity for finances and business from multiple areas. Financial windfall.
Corruption.
Yep.
But it's who bought him is what I get. And it's not just one buyer, it's several.
Yeah. I did a full chakra spread, and then I also pulled a couple oracle cards. For chakra, it's funny because it's the same story. Root chakra, he's driven by possessions, getting things, the image, like you said, Jen, it's all about that image, what he has. Also sacral chakra, this is particularly about relationships, going a lot to what Johnie said. You can't force somebody out of the closet. However, when everything you do, good or bad, and particularly a lot of bad things you do, all stems from your maybe lack of being able to have relationships that you want to have, that's always going to be an issue. He's got heart chakra blockage, emotional balance and passion. Again, that could also stem from, again, the sacral chakra, not being able to freely be you and me. And then the most prevalent issue is his third eye chakra. This man cannot foresee, see around, see behind, see into, and see under any psychic, any divine messages. He just can't. I'm really surprised solar plexus chakra didn't show up, but that's his get down. Oracle tells me the message from spirit for him is to grieve your losses. Let go of whatever, get that hurt out of you, because you're trapping it in and it's making you a horrible, horrible person. This is most of what you do is coming from a place of hurt. Here's the biggest message: make necessary sacrifices. It may ask the transgender woman who was a funeral director in Tennessee, who took her case all the way to the Supreme Court to get equal rights for all transgender individuals in the workplace. So you can no longer be fired because you want to now go by another pronoun. Was that difficult for her after being a man for like 50 years? Yes, it was difficult for her. She made necessary sacrifices. It's time for you to do the same in your life.
Will he?
It's not always about you, you jackass. It's about that sacrifice you make can literally change the life of so many other people. But you won't do it because you're selfish. Little bitch ass baby. Okay. Next person. I have another. Thank you, Pistachio, so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Let's go back a little bit on, since we're already talking about a dark topic, which was the inner guts of Lindsey Graham. I'm going to full bath after this reading. let's take a look. I got a very interesting question, and the question is, how will white supremacists be pulled out of police agencies? And I want to add to that, will they even be pulled out of police agencies?
Good God. Oh, good God.
That's a very interesting, at bare minimum, a very good topic.
It's oh, good God.
That's like trying to cut off the
Right off the
toe
rice.
for the cancer that's at the breast. Like, that's so difficult. Thank you so much, Catherine, for the super chat. Thank you guys so much. I really hope all this generosity comes back to you immediately. Triple-fold. Thank you guys so much. How will white supremacists be called out of policing? And can they? Will they? Again, you're talking about how do you change the thing that was embedded into America? Thank you, Marie. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, Sunflower. What'd you say, Johnny?
Yeah, thank you, Freda. She says she's going to send me an easy and really good peach cobbler on the community page. Recipe.
Please send it to him, because
I gave you my cuppa recipe where you use a cup of this, a cup of that.
I had a bowl of mess after I finished.
I get with the youth, with the incoming newer police officers, is where they can really affect a change, because of who the captains are and those that are defending themselves. It will take the new beginnings, the new ones that come in to stand in power against the white supremacists and not accepting them. So it'll take collaboration. It'll take watching and investigating the ones that are and putting them in defense mode, but they're bullies. So it's going to take shining a light on them and kicking them out, getting them out, because it is systemic. It's in the structure.
Yeah, that for sure. Becca, did you pull?
Yeah, I did. I'm getting it's going to be problematic, and they're going to have to rely on others to speak up and speak out, because there's something that they're quite passionate about, some sort of something that they love, but it's a betrayal, it's a lie, and they're going to have to speak out. And the problem comes in with when people speak out, they may not be trusted in what they said. So, like, let's say you work with somebody, your friends on Facebook outside of work, they're posting all sorts of horrible things. You bring it up to management, and yeah, we'll look into it, and nothing ever goes anywhere. But it's like they're going to have to rely on others to say, hey, that person needs to go. So,
What'd you get, Johnny?
I think I influence my cards because I'm very jaded when it comes to police officers, because I've never had a positive interaction with one ever. But I know there are good ones, because I just know there are, because they can't all be bad, because it's with anything. People look at, any group like the Catholic Church. They're not all pedophiles. The Baptist Church, they're not all money hungry and thieves. Like, there are some good, but you always get highlighted the bad, right? So I think I influence because I get to know this. So I try to look at it, but I can't. I really, the two of wands here, I'll show you what I got though. So we got the two of wands. There is a possibility to do so, but the possibility depends upon massive amounts of people pushing out those who portray, white supremacist ideologies and energies. Also, the one way that we've been getting them out now is if they commit some sort of act of atrocity. And then you get the blue wall to say, okay, we can't. You in particularly, so then you in particularly have to leave. But the person who that you are in the same Facebook group with, we'll keep them because they didn't do nothing wrong. Meanwhile, they still hold the same ideology. So it's going to take the blue wall to change in a massive direction. And then you can start to weed out the crazies. I always said that the way that you get these people out is if you change the way you hire police officers and change the way you train them. They should be vetted and trained like they do for the military, even though there's some crazy in the military. But you need to train them the same way you do the military. And then vet them however way you need to vet them to make sure that they're not just doing this for power's sake, that you really do want to protect and serve.
It's like our politics too, though. I mean, who would have thought we would have a black president, just a few years ago? So electing more people, Latinos and African Americans and Chinese Americans, whatever, getting other people into the police also, as white America becomes the minority, will change the face of it a little bit.
You cannot have just white cops in black neighborhoods and Latino neighborhoods. You need to mix that up.
Yep.
I'm going to sit this one out. Because no matter what, I'm going to influence the cards. My grandfather was a cop on the west side and south side of Chicago for 36 years. I'm going to tell you now, it's not that simple. You have Asian, Latino cops on the beat right now who are just as crooked as the white cops. And we've got white cops who are absolutely fantastic. So it's already diverse. It's systematic. The system itself has to implode for it to change. And that's pretty much my cards got, but I'm not going to go through them because I still think I'm going to influence the reading. So I'm going to stay out of that one.
It's more of a question of how do you keep corruption out of politics? How do you keep corruption out of the cops? How do you keep corruption out?
It's deep. My grandfather's, his beat was Caprini Green. And those of you guys who are familiar with the show, Good Times was based off Caprini Green. It was the worst housing project in Chicago. And my grandfather said he was more worried about his partner. He had to watch his back for his partner. He never worried about the residents. Because then he understood when you have nothing, you understand that. They're not killing me to kill me. They're just trying to survive. But my partner, I don't know what he's going to do. Black, white, Asian, I don't know what he's going to do. And so it has to implode. It has to literally crumble apart and be rebuilt. And I just don't think it'll happen.
I just saw this story. I think it came out like a day or two ago that I think it's in Washington State, where how the politicians are all like, oh, you're one of those defund the police, blah, 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 blah. Well, what the state of Washington did was they cut their budget, and that what they took. They used it to buy a bunch of hotels and make living for people that are permanent transients, homeless, So that's one way to divert money and help fix two issues, But we need to stop weaponizing the police. It's militarizing them. That's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah.
The city of Doraville, where I lived outside the city of Doraville. I lived in Buckhead, but you have to drive through Buckhead on 285 to get to drive through Doraville to get to Buckhead. Doraville is like this big, right? Why do these bastards have 3 tanks for a town this big? 3 tanks.
And when are you ever going to use that?
In case Canada invades.
Because if it got to that point, you're calling the National Guard, not the local police.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all don't want to have a real discussion about policing. So anyway. That's why I have to sit this. I got to sit. I can't read the cards on that one. I got to sit this one out. Let's talk about Chuck, Nan, and Bitch McConnell. Will they be primaried? I think Bitch McConnell is about 9,947 years old, and he's literally decroding right in front of us. But will he be primaried? What about Chuck? Chuck is the youngest of the group, and his ass is 70.
Chuck Schumer.
Chuck Schumer. Yep.
Grassley is finally going to step down, I heard.
Who's going to step down?
Chuck Grassley.
Yeah.
From Iowa, he's going to step down finally after his term.
Will they be primaried? Mother Nancy is 80 years old. That heifer still be in her heel. Say what you want about Mother Nancy. She comes in her heels every day, ready to slay. And she don't wear no kitten heel either.
She'd be dressed to the nines.
9s, 10s, and 11s. Will they be primaried? What's going to happen?
Maybe Nancy.
I have a follow-up question too after this, now that I think about it. Beck, I did not mean to pull you from. You should have sent me a message and be like, "Girl, don't put me in the stream. I'm just cooking. I'm just here to be nosy."
I felt bad because it's like you guys were having so much fun. I'm over here trying to cook, and I was like, "Man." So,
you have to jump on, but I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for the invite.
Of course, we're all family. We are family.
I don't know y'all like that.
I was farting.
It's like my family, be grateful.
Be grateful you're not like that.
Y'all, my family's awesome. We have a family group chat.
I like
we bail each other out of jail when one of us inevitably slaps somebody in a grocery store. I got a good family. Y'all can come over and hang out with the Colemans anytime.
Well, for Mitch McConnell, I get, he gets the offer to, and it's image thing too, but I get the waiting card, and I think, like, even though it looks like he could pull out a victory, he gets cut. He leaves. He separates. He doesn't end up running.
Mm-hmm.
You've gotten that before, Jenny.
Mm-hmm. Sneaky things going on.
Oh, jeez.
We are family, but who made the potato salad? Not me.
I got mine at the store yesterday.
Actually, I can make potato salad.
And if anybody in this chat is about to put any kind of pecans, raisins, grapes, anything that does not belong in potato salad, jump out my chat right now. I'm on live stream.
You want to experiment with chicken salad. Potato salad, I like it a certain way.
Not disrespect potato salad.
So for Nancy, I get that there is someone, there's always grumblings from the DCCC that, not the DCCC, but from the progressive wing that she needed to go, but she defends. She is not easily uprooted, as they have found out already. So I think she stays, but she does have a person who wants to run, and then they're discouraged to do so. Chuck, I get he is stuck to here with the 8 of Swords. Nobody challenges him, apparently. Mm-hmm. He has a working within the government. If he's going to step down or something, then they're just going to let that happen. But he doesn't have a big competitor. Mm-hmm. For Melting Face, he is going to come under burden by an action here. The community itself may take some action too. So not just somebody running against him, but this could be Kentuckians saying, hey, we're going to get behind whoever. So he may have some issue with staying put. Mm-hmm. which I would love to see. I mean, I know it's petty, but I want anybody to Kermit the Frog. I will move to Kentucky just so I can become a citizen and vote against you.
And then leave the moment. Jen, did you finish everybody?
No, I was still pulling on some of the others, but I get Mitch to separate. What'd you get, Becca?
Yeah.
I only pulled on Mitch. I don't get that he's primaried. I get he gets sick. And then the state puts in someone that's loyal. So I asked if he gets sick, and I pulled the bouquet. That's a yes. Which reminded me of your spread at Trader Joe's, Jenny.
Yeah.
There's an illness there.
There's a recurrence of effects from having polio when he was younger coming back, like breathing issues, heart issues, walking, muscle.
Damn it.
Did you do that again?
I don't know, how that keeps happening. It's like you keep coming, popping in and out, and I'm not touching anything. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Muscle weakness. I get that Chuck Schumer will primary, but I get he has a really strong woman that comes up against him that he has to defend against.
Chuck has the worst for me. 9 of Wands and the 7 of Swords. He's going to be fighting and defending. Nancy will be able to pull it off. There's a plan. However, if a better person comes along, which could, she's out, because it's also followed by the 10 of Swords. Mitch McConnell will not be able to hold on to his seat, 5 of Cups, for the 4 of Wands, his place. So Chuck and oh boy are not sitting pretty. Nancy, yes, but again, all depends on who goes against her, which brings up my follow-up question. We're so busy looking at the Republicans. Will the Republicans splinter? Will the Republicans do this? Will the Republicans do that? Meanwhile, we're not paying attention to the dissension in our own ranks. Because again, we've got dissension in the ranks. What's going to happen with the Democratic Party? Are we going to is it going to be just, okay, we're, progressives versus the centrists, or is there going to be some honest shiggity that pops off within the party? We're so busy looking at everybody else. We're not looking at ourselves right now and what's going on in our own party. Will we splinter? What's going to happen?
Because I was like, there's a 50-50 tie, and then we were rejoicing about the 50-50 tie in the Senate, and then Kamala's the tiebreaker. And the first thing that popped in my mind is, how many ties are you actually going to have?
Mm-hmm.
50 Republicans will more than likely back each other up, but then one Democrat, if you get one of those Tulsi Gabbard likes, or Joe Manchin like, to say, you know what, I think I agree with this 50 over here, so now we have a 51-49 or a 53-47, and then Kamala Harris is nowhere in sight because she's not needed because there is no tie. Democrats.
We got to pay attention. Watch our own. I'm just saying. And I don't want this in the chat to be a progressive versus whoever that's missed me with that. I just want us to pay attention to our own party. How can we come together? Because we will have egg on our face. We don't think the Republicans are splinter next thing. Because the thing, give it to the Republicans. They bicker behind closed doors. We bicker out in public. Like that trashy couple on Cops. Lock his ass up. So we just gotta be careful. To get Johnie.
I get, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. So we have some, in the beginning it was nice. It's going to be rosy. It's going to be all that. With the 10 of Cups and the 9 of Cups, because we're new to the party. We have just come in, Biden is president. Everything is supposed to be good. You're supposed to be going away and strategizing how to get away from the Trumpian era. You're still healing from and stopping the bleeding from Trump's administration. Then, 2 years from now, There's your commerce and communication. There's some more communication, and it quickly breaks down to we're now 3 different parties. You have progressive wing, you have the moderate Republicans, and then you have the ones who are basically Republicans with the D after their name. And so you're going to have some splintering here. This is probably going to come within 2 years when you think, here's what happens a lot of times. So we're going to lose a couple people. We're going to gain some people too, gain some seats, but we're going to lose some too. Here's what's more than likely going to happen, which is what usually happens. Biden is going to be in a position where Republicans have convinced some people in this country he's not doing enough, or he's not doing a good job, or something is horrible because of him. And then you as a Democrat don't want to be attached to him, just like they did Obama, and then you lose your seat and he keeps his because he's president, but you lose your seat and now you can't help him anymore. So there's going to be some messages about imbalance. Like, okay, we're actually not in a good place because he's doing too much when it comes to actions, or he's pushing too hard on healthcare, or he's doing this and he's doing that. We need to worry about the deficit and the budget and this and that. So they're going to try to convince some Democrats too not to get involved. And because the turnout for the midterms is always horrible anyway. Mm-hmm. So I think that is going to cause some screw ups like it always does, though.
Yeah, I get they've got the knowledge, I'm getting that a couple of different ways. Like they've got the knowledge within of what they need to do. The challenge is they can't come up with plans because they're already fractured and fighting. So all the people inside, they're all little warriors looking out for their own agenda. But what's interesting in the future, I get, to America, they bring change, they bring strength after COVID and after Trump. So I do get that they move forward, and I get the Sun card, but they're going to have to go through a little bit of a transition here to figure out how to bring the moderates and the progressives together.
What you got, Becca?
I'm getting that ultimately there's a split. There's it goes 2 different ways because there's pressure here to make agreements, several agreements in regards to public money, societal money that goes to public programs, whether schools or universities or childcare, medicine. It's social programs, and they put a lot of pressure on people to make these agreements, and that's where the where the divide comes in. But this was for like the next 2 years. Yeah. So that's what I got.
I don't have very encouraging cards. Starts off with the burden. There's a lot of burden and confusion within the party. That's evident. I don't even need to freaking explain that. Some people feeling out in the cold. Again, we always have this fraction of the Democratic Party. What has the Democratic Party done for me? You haven't done enough. However, you do have people at the crown of this planning, trying to take action, trying to get things together. However, we're going to be juggling the Democratic Party for a while. It is still going to be progressives, Republican light. It's just we're going to balance these issues for a foreseeable future until this Knight of Wands is coming in with an action that reminds us once again that this perceived fraction in the party is in our head, because really ultimately we all want the same freaking thing. It's just the tactics we're going to use to go about it. We still predominantly want some form of universal health care. We want a higher minimum wage. We want the same things. Somebody's going to have to come in, though, and remind us that we want the same stuff. Stop fighting. Kind of like when Mother Nancy pulled people in that corner last year and said, fight me in my office, don't fight me in public. It may have to be that kind of moment. We got to remind ourselves we, in essence, want the same thing. Republicans want the same thing. You see, they fight behind
your average person in America wants the same thing. They want health care. They want a good wage for their work.
Yep. Got a couple more questions. Thank you guys so much for hanging in with us for these 2 hours and 13 minutes. We're almost towards the end. Second to last question. This is a good one. Where did the missing millions of doses of the COVID vaccine go? Remember how the Biden Trump administration all of a sudden just mysteriously lost like a couple million batches of the COVID vaccine? Anybody know where that went? Can Tarot, can Spirit tell us where that went? Will we find it? Where did it go?
Crazy. Some goes missing. 500 of it gets left out of the refrigerator. Like, why are you sabotaging this?
Why? Why? Somebody says at Mar-a-Lago. Where did it go?
Read it. It didn't go to Mar-a-Lago.
Mm-mm.
It's nice. You can be fat. Don't be a fat loser, though. Then you just look dumpy and stupid.
Where did the missing doses of that vaccine go? Because let me be in another country and lose my passport. My black ass ain't getting home. So what did you do with the $500 million?
King of Cups and Six of Pentacles. It was given to some man, because that Six of Pentacles is charity, benevolence, and gifts. The Moon, the Six of Cups, it was hidden in something else. It's almost like we're gonna ship these overalls from Oshkosh Bagosh or something, and then it's gonna be loaded with vaccines or something, because it has something to do with kids. I feel it was sent elsewhere. It wasn't destroyed, I don't think. The Lovers and the Strength and Justice is here. This was an agreement and maybe even a contract between somebody for COVID vaccine here with my Five of Pentacles. So I think Seven Swords is here, sneaky. So yeah, I think it was given to whoever the King of Cups would represent, and it's not Biden.
I got this.
I get a lot of the same cards, Johnie. I get like they blocked showing where it is. The challenge will be to get the truth out about this. Big corporation. I get my Mother Russia card on this.
I didn't want to say it, but I think
Yeah, and covering it up. They were bullied to give it to Russia, again because of an agreement, and maybe children involved somehow. And they're just keeping it really quiet. Now, I do get that there's a surprising break in knowing about this. And I get my Republican card and I get the court card, Queen of Swords. So we might see a lawsuit over this.
Yeah. What you got, Becca?
I got the woman, the moon, and the fish. There was a transaction for this, a sale. A woman may have put it up for sale, and this is the King of Diamonds. There was a transaction for that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody made money on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it, yep, same. I got the same thing. You guys got some kind of sneakiness, undercover transaction to somebody of importance who is this King of Cups. And it's a power, whoever this person to has got strength. It's a powerful person. Forgive me, I had a little tickle in my throat.
mm-hmm.
Okay, last question. And I love this question. I kept it at the end on purpose. Thank you, Jenn Lynn, for this question.
Oh, is this one of mine?
You want to go ahead and ask it? The BLM question?
The which one?
The BLM.
Oh, yeah. Black Lives Matter was nominated, the movement, for a Nobel Prize.
Yep.
So I want to be real petty, first of all, because I think it's wonderful. They'll, whether they win or not, it's just an honor that they nominated Black Lives Matter movement. I want to know how Trump feels about it, because he couldn't even get a nomination.
He even did the fake coin too.
Yeah. Little petty. I got to be real petty. I got to know how Trump feels about Black Lives Matter movement got nominated for a Nobel Prize.
What a maroon. Okay.
Well, his little peanut butter boys couldn't get him nominated, but how's Trump feeling about it? I'm surprised he hasn't claimed he won.
Can he tweet?
No,
That's probably why he didn't say it.
Yeah, doesn't have a Twitter.
somebody has released some statements from him on like their own Twitter accounts, but they have to be careful about it.
Yep. Yeah, because Twitter has been shutting that mess down.
Yeah.
He is pouting. I got the 6 of cups. That's cheering. And then I got the page of swords. That's bad cheering. So he is pouting. He is pouting. He is also claiming here with the oracle that he is indeed a winner. I got power and the masculine. So he is, it's kind of like he faces the reality and then faces the mirror and hypes himself up. It's like, you are good. You are great. He's doing his self affirmations in the mirror. He must have learned that from, anyway.
Yeah, I get, here he is on the bottom. I get that he was furious at first, just livid. Here he is at the root of things because he should have been nominated, and he wants to shine a light on how did they get nominated. He wants some clarity on this situation. It's like, oh, surprise, I'm all for this, and I'm gonna share the prize, like, because the Black Lives Matter movement started under him. I'm responsible for getting that movement going. I should also get part of this prize, and in collaboration. So he's gonna try to claim part of the prize.
I hate him. Go ahead, Becca.
I'm getting that he feels like he was very successful in what he did, that he should have gotten the accolades and the awards and the praise. So he's really confused and irritated. He doesn't understand.
Mhm.
Like, I did so much better than them. What did they do? They didn't do anything.
You're a terrorist organization.
Confused.
I got the same thing. He is what crosses the reading, which is hilarious. Also at the crown of this is to Emperor. Will Fortune though, change of luck. He's pissed, but he will not admit it out loud, but this is one of the things that is going to start to slowly make his mind movies start to turn off a little bit, to start to realize that maybe these motherfuckers don't like me. It wasn't anything else, because he wanted this so badly. This was his coveted prize. Because think of anything that Bo had, he had. He became president. He was going to get the admiration. But this is changing him in his mind. He'll never say it out loud, but this is going in his mind like, okay, they don't like me.
And you would be right for one time in your life.
I'm right today.
I didn't say first, for the one time in your life, because you'll never do it again.
Well, guys, thank you so much. I don't think I've ever had this many people on a live stream. So thank all 826 of you guys for joining us and for hanging out tonight. Thank you so incredibly much. Tomorrow night, these three beautiful people will be on Johnny's channel at 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Yes, ma'am.
7 Central. Y'all can do the math. Do your time zone in your head. So watching. Becca, for joining us.
And I'm sorry I crashed the party.
No, thank you for watching. Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm glad you were able to hang out with us. Guys, hang out with Johnie and the crew tomorrow night. Hang out with us next week for your horoscope. And hang out with Jace on Saturday night for Petty Party. Until then, please, you guys take care of yourselves. Take some of that energy to take care of yourself, to take care of other people, because we got a lot of work to do spiritually to get us right and tight. So with
that super chatted to Adrian tonight. That was really, thank you.
Thank you, all the super chatters. Thank you to my moderators. Thank you guys so much. This is a family effort. Johnny's not claiming y'all as family, but I'll claim some of y'all. Thank you guys so much. Have a good evening. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.